right here.
I like it also.
Okay.
Good evening. I would like to call this meeting of the Neighborhood Improvement Services Advisory Committee to order. I would also like to thank the viewing audience for tuning in. At this time, I would like to ask Ms. Gloria Whitney to lead us in invocation.
May we bow our heads, please? Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day, for just letting us be out to do your bidding. So, dear God, please guide us and lead us in the way that you would have us to go. And we pray that the one that is on the way, that he will make it out safely. Dear God, we thank you for everything that is going on, and we're trying to make it better for the citizens of Jacksonville. So, God, please guide us and lead us as we make decisions that will help people along the way. Thank you, Lord. These and many other blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. We don't have any guests tonight, but what I would like to do at this time is have introductions of our members. Let's start right.
Paula Jones.
Thank you, ma'am. Will Smith.
Marsha Wright.
Gloria Whitney.
Yes, and thank you for joining my team, Mr. Hills. Thank you so much. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the agenda?
Yes.
Are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we adopt the agenda as written with one small accommodation that we will wait on Mr. Forney to give his report a little bit further down on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Second motion. I second.
Motion is carried. Okay. A motion, the minutes from February the 22nd, 2001 meeting have been provided for your review. Has everyone had the opportunity to review those minutes? Okay. Are there any changes or additions? Okay. If no changes or additions, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. For all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion is carried. Item number 6 has already been adjusted, so, and item number 6 and item number 7 will be adjusted because until Mr. Forney is here. So we will move straight into the community development.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Just wanted to give you an update on our community development activities. As you all know, we were funded the CARES Act money for the coronavirus to respond and react and plan and prevent the spread of the coronavirus. So the city of Jacksonville, we issued and developed a utility assistance program. And with that, folks who need assistance paying their water bills with the city of Jacksonville, they are eligible to apply. All you have to do is go to the city website and click on the utility assistance program, and you will be able to submit an application along with supporting documentation in order to qualify for that program. It is HUD income requirement, and as soon as we approve your application, then we will be able to help you and pay those water bills. So currently, we have assisted 458, we have processed 458 applications and assisted 190 households, for a total of a little bit over $88,000 since April 2020. So if anyone needs any more assistance, we still have funding available. Please go to the website and apply for that assistance.
I have one question.
Yes.
Now, for that assistance, is that for multiple months or just 1 month at a time?
The coverage and the assistance will cover 6 months up to $100 per month. So a total of $600 per household can be awarded.
Thank you very much.
We're also finalizing our annual action plan. Our public input meeting was held. Our public input comments were received by April the 5th. The plan was presented and approved by City Council on April the 6th for submission to HUD by May 15th. So we're expecting to get a little bit over $368,000 for fiscal year 22. After that submission on May 15th, HUD will approve the plan and we will be awarded our funding. Wanted to also give you an update on our capital improvement investment in our neighborhoods. One of the neighborhoods that we've been investing in is the Georgetown area. We have completed with the sidewalks on Georgetown Road that leads into the Georgetown Park. And with that, we have some park equipment additions to improve that park. We have 2 additions that we're going to be installing, and we're just waiting on the finished product of the contractor to put in the foundation and the rubberized materials for safety. So we're looking forward to opening that park back up to the public at least by Memorial Day. I think the park will be finished by Memorial Day so people can go and enjoy that park. As you recall, we already have the bathroom there. So we're going to be finishing up that capital improvement project in that area. We also have CDBG Week. That was April the 5th through the 9th this year. It's a national initiative by HUD. And we had our mayor read a proclamation and present it to us, proclaiming April the 5th through the 9th was the National Community Development Block Grant Week. So with that, we highlighted on our social media pages all of our past programs and activities. And we also finished up that week by having a cookout, a picnic, to celebrate those other departments that support us and collaborate with us and partner with us. For without them, we couldn't do what we do. So departments such as the Public Services Department, to include streets and sanitation, and also the Parks and Recreation Department. They were served by us and members of the Neighborhood Improvement Services Advisory Committee. As you will note that Ms. Paula Jones, Ms. Gloria Whitney, and Mr. Owen Hills, they came out and supported us, and they helped serve all of those lunches to city staff members, and they were very appreciative. We enjoyed the fellowship, and I'm pretty sure that they enjoyed the meal. So that is what we did for Community Development Block Grant Week. I will say that the members, they worked really, really hard. They stayed with us to the end, and I just want to publicly and personally say thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. And that's all I have.
It was fun. Enjoyed it.
Next, we have the Neighborhood Initiatives by Ms. Pamela.
Good evening. I am Pamela Trafton, Neighborhood Improvement Services Coordinator, and have a few updates to bring to you. So our Harmony team, which is a division of the Youth Council, which focuses on our philanthropy efforts within the community, this year we provided a Harmony Day of Caring, which is different than what we've done in the past with our grant program. Due to COVID and our usual annual application process, we did not receive any applications for our funding. So in a way to still provide a service to the community, the Harmony Grant Board, which is comprised of teams of the Youth Council, identified 2 organizations that we could provide funding of services to and supplies. So our first one is our Chew House. And this also allowed our Harmony recipients from 2020 that were not able to provide their programs as they normally would. They also participated in the Harmony Day of Caring. So this picture identifies the Onslow County Public Library. They assisted as well and took the funds that they received for their grant and provided donations to the True House. Here we have a representative from Aspire. They provided items as well. The Harmony Grant Board, they provided items. So all this went to the True Home. And then we also went to the Juvenile Justice Program with the Onslow County teens, and they received actual earbuds for the students that come through their program. And this is one of 7 programs that works with the Teen Justice Program. The Harmony Grant Board all identified that whatever we did with the funds was still to go and benefit the youth of Onslow County. So that is how the True House and the Juvenile Justice Program was identified for receiving grant awards. Next item we have up is our home ownership with home buyer education program. Our next class is May 15th, which is a Saturday from 8 to 5 p.m. It will take place at the Center for Public Safety at 200 Marine Boulevard. We currently have 3 slots still available for registration. If you are interested in participating in the class, please contact us at 910-938-5286. The cost is $20 per person. The next home ownership class after May will not be until September. So if you're interested, again, we only have 3 slots available. It is time for our nonprofit executive roundtable, which will take place on May 19th at 11:30 a.m. We have more details to come. It will be a virtual a virtual roundtable session that is open to our executive directors, our board members, and staff. And this year, we are looking at partnering with the North Carolina Center for Nonprofits, who will be our presenter on May 19th, to help us identify what are the challenges that nonprofits are facing and to be able to bring that information to us. You will be able to register once the information is available on our website at jacksonvillenc.gov/nonprofits. Coming up, spring neighborhood cleanup. So Neighborhood Improvement Services is tackling our first community project with a neighborhood cleanup on Lakewood Drive. This is in partnership with our Environmental and Appearance Committee that has identified areas that could use a little bit of sprucing up with our residents and our volunteers uniting to keep Jacksonville clean and green. So save the date and sign up to register to assist on Saturday, May 8th, starting at 7 a.m. and ending at 11 a.m. We are looking at taking care of light yard maintenance, eliminating high grass and weeds, removing junk from yards, collect litter, debris, and prepare yard waste for city pickup. We have already received one resident that has identified work that we can take care of on their property. So we just asking for any residents on Lakewood Drive, which is right behind Cardinal Village, across from Jacksonville High School. We are looking for any volunteer organizations, individuals, those that can come out and provide a few hours of assistance or any equipment assistance as well, and any residents that live on Lakewood Drive that need some assistance with their yard cleanup and maintenance. Please contact me at 910-938-6551.
Thank you. Before we get into our one city, our city, my city moment, I would like to go back up and revisit items number 6 and number 7. Item number 6 is the appointment of a planning board member. The city ordinance regulating planning board members required that we appoint the appointment of a planning board member from our Neighborhood Improvement Service Advisory Committee. The member who has served to serve two consecutive one-year terms. Currently, our Vice Chairman, Steve Forney, has held the position. But at this time, I would like to open the floor for nomination, and you may self-nominate. Okay, I'd like to add to that, Mr. Steve may be reappointed if nominated.
Oh, I was just getting ready to ask you, Mr. Chair, if he is eligible for,
Yes.
Yes,
then
yes.
I think you have some experience with it, and I certainly would nominate our member, Steve Forney, to serve another term to represent us on the planning committee.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Accept that.
Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you. Okay,
Move that nominations be closed.
okay, thank you. For all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is carried. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
So at this
It's been
time,
my pleasure.
at this time, Mr. Forney.
My update?
The update, yes, sir.
Most of our time spent has been to update city code with ordinance changes that have basically come from the state. Now, in the last 2 months, since we last met, one of the issues that we brought up was city code and the unified ordinance on backyard chickens. And we, as the planning board, sent a recommendation to the city that, yes, you can have backyard chickens, a maximum of 5, and no roosters. And they are going to have a open hearing at some time. City council will. But, I think I was the only one on the planning board that actually has raised chickens in my backyard.
Okay,
So I had experience.
okay,
Everything from coyotes to red-tip hawks to possum and all that, trying to get into the chicken coop. But that's the update that we have at this time.
okay. Thank you, sir.
So is there action pending on that, or,
City council is having an open hearing on it.
oh,
One question. Are they raising them for eating or are they raising them as pets?
We raised ours for the eggs, and my wife would not let me butcher them because they became like pets to her. So, but yes, they can be raised for
Yeah,
eating.
we have hundreds.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the city will let you raise the ones for pets. Because I have some in my neighborhood also, and they walk the street. So that's why one neighbor said, if I
Yeah.
catch them across in my yard, they're in the pot. So that's why I asked you, are they
Yeah.
pets, so they need to keep them in the backyard?
We didn't address them as being pets. You know, I'm a farm boy, so
I'm
chickens are
fine with it, as
livestock.
long as they keep them.
Yes, sir.
If I remember correctly, though, that recommendation did have like language in it in terms of like the chickens being nuisances and like escaping the backyard and stuff like that.
That's
right?
correct. And
Yeah.
that would be a neighbor
Calling on you.
calling that it's a nuisance.
Yeah.
At that time, you know, then they'll address what comes up from that.
Pets or not.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Would that be kind of like,
They biting off more than
dogs
they can chew.
running,
Yes.
Next time,
Yes.
they be raising
we
goats,
call,
Animal control.
chicken and everything.
I don't know that animal control is going to get involved so much with backyard chickens. It might be more in terms of, might even be code enforcement.
I want to be called when that one's done.
Yeah.
I want to see that myself.
Yeah,
Somebody chasing a
But
chicken.
that would be
up and
code
down.
enforcement, I think, that would be the one to get involved from the city aspect.
oh, yes, that's right.
Code enforcement would handle the public nuisance like the smells and the feces and things like that, that kind of code violation. But as far as the chickens itself, code enforcement, we do not catch animals. So that would be animal control.
okay, great, great, great. All right, thank you for those.
You bet.
updates, sir. Okay, anyone have any?
I'd like to ask one question from Pam, Lakewood Drive. Are they providing the weeders and the bags, stuff for jump, for pickup, the debris?
Yes, ma'am.
They-
So,
Or cleanup?
so we do have.
We don't have to bring anything.
Ma'am?
So we don't have to bring anything like we did over in the other place we cleaned up?
We do
You know,
have
like
some,
hedge cutters and all that?
so we
About
do
mine.
have some tools available. However, if you have tools that you want to bring of your own, then please do so. We are having a registration, so that way we know how many residents we are taking into account, so we can account for the equipment and the volunteers.
Thank you.
I do have one question about, like, is there some kind of systematic way that we're reaching out to the people living on Lakewood Drive to let them know individually that this is a thing that they can register to? Is there some kind of like targeted way that we're doing that?
Absolutely. So currently, we have mailed out flyers individually to each homeowner. Reason why I got a call this morning, actually, the resident said, I received in my mail this letter about a cleanup and I need help.
Okay.
So we also
Awesome.
have it available. It went in the newspaper as well. We did a announcement in the newspaper. So yes, sir.
Maybe I'm missing it, I don't see it. Is there an address where we're meeting on Lakewood Drive? Is there a particular place? Is it on here?
No, it's not on the flyer. Reason being, because Lakewood Drive had over 100 properties, we wanted to make sure that we were going to be strategic in where we met at. So that's why we need any residents and any volunteers to give us a call and let us know that you're going to be present, for one, because we're going to be present on people's private properties. And we want to make sure that we have the permission of those residents before we actually enter a property. And plus, I need to make sure that you are present, so that way we don't leave and you've left stranded somewhere on Lakewood Drive. So we ask that you definitely give us a call and register. Again, you can call me at 910-938-6551 and let me know that you're interested in being a volunteer.
But to your point, Paula, we will have a place where we will have stage to where people will check in, and we'll have water there and supplies. So we will have a place where people can check in.
Okay, thank you.
Great. No further discussion. Now we'd like to get into our one city, our city, my city moments. And I asked the advisory committee to, reflect on those things that's been going around in our city. And if anyone in here has those moments, please share them with us now.
I just wanted to say, through the COVID-19 pandemic, I feel like I have noticed that Goshen Community Clinic has done an outstanding job relative to like their size as a relatively small community clinic in providing testing and vaccination sites. And I just think that they've done a really good job. And I felt like that needed to be recognized, them in conjunction with the health department, obviously, as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's wonderful. Anyone else?
I think my one city, our city, my city moment was the luncheon for the city employees. While we were there, toward the end of our luncheon, one of the employees came, and turns out that he was a student. Tracy and I talked about, he was a student at Thompson Elementary when I was a counselor there, and he remembered me. I remembered him, and I could see his eyes. He had a mask on, but he always had the kindest eyes. Something about his eyes were just beautiful as a kid, and those same eyes I saw, and I said, I know you, because I know your eyes. And he removed his mask, and I could see his face, and he told me his name, and I remembered him as a child, as a student at Thompson Elementary. So it's amazing how things come full circle, and his life is changed. He has a family. He's hardworking, and it was good to see that. It was just wonderful, and I just felt good. When I left there, I felt really good because I seen my student. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anyone else?
I was watching PBS, because I watch a lot of that. And I don't know how old this program is, but it was on recently about what the City of Jacksonville Police Department was doing relative to training and trying to ratchet down confrontational issues, you know, because so much is going on in the news and everything. And I didn't realize that I think I knew they had gotten awarded by some organization for that. But it was on, because they have a North Carolina weekend that comes on all the time. This was not the same program, and I cannot remember. I need to go back and see it. But I saw the chief, which is what drew my attention. And they talked about, you know, how they had organized a way of addressing this as opposed to just whatever, you know. And because it did occur to me with everything that we have seen going on, that is there any maybe effort, I don't know what word I'm looking for, to make a public, I guess to take a public position, not necessarily on any particular event, but on the whole situation of people being afraid of, because children are watching what they see on TV. And I know I grew up in segregation and still was always taught that if you were ever in trouble or you ever needed somebody to help you, go find a police officer. And that is not the message our children and my grandchildren, my granddaughter, that's not the message they're getting right now, because they have many more avenues of information than we had growing up. And so I say that to say, is there any thought or idea or any occasion coming up? You know, we didn't have National Night Out last year because of COVID. Probably will this year, but just something to either reiterate this, to make people aware of it, because people come and go in this community probably more often than others do. I guess I would say a position paper if it were something relative to government, you know, about this kind of thing. But I did remember seeing that, and it was fairly recently, so that might be something they would, and it may have already run. I don't know if you all have seen it as employees here.
No, I have not seen it, but I will say that we had a prayer vigil on Thursday at noon.
Oh, okay.
But I can circle back and ask the chief whether or not there are any plans to address anything that's, you know, as far as social programs or anything that's happening nationally.
But I'm just thinking that since we have this station, or, you know, that's always running, you know, when I catch things, you can see it any time, that it might be worth checking with PBS. I'm sure that they either have it already or can get it. But it was a very short, because the program is only a half an hour, and there were several other topics going on. But they had them there, and I said, oh, because when I saw them, I said, you know, and I'm trying to, and like I said, those are the kinds of programs I watch, and you can see them over and over and over again. And I'm sure if someone were to contact them and say that we're looking for that particular piece of tape, that.
So you would like to be run on GTN?
I think it would be worth seeing, because I just
Okay.
happened up on it quite by accident.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen anything, and I usually get a chance to at least look at this on a regular basis. And I said, I wonder when this happened. And, you know, and they do run them over and over and over. And sometimes you'll see things that were as old as a couple of years, because recently they've been running stuff from 2019 because everybody's on hiatus and you can't go in and film anything right now. And that could be why it was on, because that seemed to be in conjunction with an award that the city police department had won for the program.
Okay.
And I think it's worth putting that in front of everybody, because like I said, when you think about, you got a trial going on in this city right here about an issue, and you're not even 10 minutes, 20 minutes away from this, and somebody else loses their life. And it's just on, it's going on and on and on and on. And they put a lot of time and energy into training and just rethinking how they even approach policing, at least here. And I think they have, personally. And but you can't say that too often, because people are just overwhelmed by what they're seeing at 6 o'clock and 6:30. And there may be a lot of people out here, I would guess, who don't even know that they have done what they have done here.
Yes,
They have no awareness of it, you know. They're not even aware that efforts have been taken. And it didn't seem to have been in response to any particular issue. It was in response to the general situation that you know, the chief and the administration and so on took it upon themselves, you know. And just the statistics they gave on how things have changed as a result of that. I think it would be worth putting in front of people. I don't think you can do it too often, quite honestly, you know.
Okay, well, we'll research and see if we can
But it was,
find that program.
UNC TV, and,
PBS, UNCTV, and see whether or not media service
Public
can run
television.
that.
Public
To get
television.
permission, they would probably have to
and
get
just- did you see
permission.
it?
I saw it. Mhm.
But I think it might have been filmed earlier, but I'm sure if I saw it again in the fairly recent past, it's archived somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is what I would like to say about our one city, our city, my city. You know, as was stated earlier, you know, there's a lot of things going around in our country. The difference in our city and a lot of other places is that our respect level is a lot different. You know, it's just a lot different. We respect one another, no matter where we're from, because a lot of people that move here are not from here. And the reason why I bring that up is because sometimes we just have to think about humanity, treating our fellow citizen just a little bit better than we did yesterday. Not because they deserve it, but because that's what's in us to do. And I think once we start thinking about this, then this one city, our city, my city moment, it will begin to just morph into something else and catch fire and make other cities around us even better places. Because we can talk about the clinic that's doing an absolutely phenomenal job. We can talk about the base, or our police departments, all of the food banks who's fed thousands of people during the pandemic. And then we can even go to when it comes to the vaccination. You know, I think about when our family took it, we didn't necessarily take it for ourselves. We took it to protect our neighbors. And that's why we wear masks, to protect our neighbors. And when we start thinking about other people more than we think about ourselves, that's what makes Jacksonville, North Carolina, a caring community. So that's my kind of parting shot on that tonight. Thank you.
And you know, when you mention that, I think it might be, I just think it's always, like they say, you know, give me my flowers while I can still smell them. Where they're always, you can never say that to people enough. And I saw a program once again, I'm channel surfing and watching something, where they recognized people who had been doing exactly what you're talking about. You know, they do it and you see them. Well, really, you don't see them because they're almost indivisible
Exactly.
until you have to confront the situation. And so when you mentioned Goshen, they have been really, really. Star Med is another one that has been. And this is not to disclaim anybody else. I'm just naming two that I
That's right.
personally
That's
am
right.
aware of.
That's right.
Am aware of. And really trying to get out on the front of this and step out there and just make situations available. Like you said, churches that are still feeding people. There's a food giveaway still every Friday. You know, St. Julie is still doing this. Has not stopped.
That's right.
And if there is an occasion to recognize or make people aware of that, because I've had some experience with Goshen years and years ago, and that is a top-notch organization. They have clinics all over the place. I think it's 13 that I think I know of under that umbrella of Goshen Medical Services. And they just deliver a very, very high-quality, patient-oriented system of care. And so, you know, just thinking about once we get started and get back out to where people can see things going on, or just to, you know, highlight, you know, maybe once a month or something like that. Churches, medical centers, whoever, who have really tried to help us with testing and screening and all this kind of thing, you know, so.
That's right. Thank you very much. You know, the worst of times bring out the best in people. It really does. Many people don't believe that, but the worst of times, it really does bring out the best in people. You know, so let's just keep doing our best.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing our best, okay? Right now, we'll go into any future agenda topics that we want to add to the agenda. And while we're there, I would like to, because like sometimes after we leave this meeting, I think about like future agenda topics. And can we submit them even though they're not in this meeting?
Certainly, you can submit those via email, you can call it in to us, most certainly.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because when I looked at it, I thought they had to be in the minutes for us to discuss it at the next
No.
meeting.
And I know I've asked for this at different times, but an update on the town center homes down in and around New River. You know, as I've gone through the area, I've seen more and more of them with the almost demolition or condemn tag. And just to get a little bit of an update on what's going on down there now.
I will share what I know. I know buildings, inspections, they are working closely with the current owner and potentially a new owner. The sale of that property has gone and turned over several times. And hopefully, if any pending sales, the new owner will commit to doing what needs to be done for those units. So the city has condemned several of those units over there, and rightly so. But unless we get a new owner that is going to be committed, some of the same problems are going to, exist over there. We offer assistance in any kind of demolitions that we can afford to accomplish in that year. We have torn down several units in town center. So the city is very, very interested in helping any of the existing owners or the new owners to improve that area. So we're over there constantly. I know buildings inspection, they're working really, really hard to make sure that those are some safe and decent and sanitary units for our citizens.
And we understand the town center only has about a half of the units that are there.
Yes.
Is there any, or just to look into a potential update on the other blocks of home, which are, an individual may own 40 units or, and I know that's how that works in that area.
Right, we've had some success with some of the owners of multiple units that have gone in and repaired and upgraded, renovated their units. And there's still some others that are still needing some repairs. So we're working closely with the owners of all of those units that fall under a minimum housing violation or anything like that. So we're working very hard, through code enforcement and of course through our building inspection department to get through those as well.
Okay.
But I can give you a comprehensive as far as a block of the units and I guess a status update for those that fall under minimum housing.
Okay, thank you.
My pet peeve is, we still getting back to what I've been talking about before. People are still leaving the trash cans out, blowing in the street, and we're in hurricane season. I'm tired of picking up other people's trash can that's blowing out in the street. The other problem is, the people that get paid to cut grass in the city, with their tractors and, you come to my house, I got your own contract. You take it, when you finish, you blow the grass on the sidewalk. They don't take it up, they just blow the person's yard and blow it right in the sidewalk. There's a drain that comes right around the corner and the guy still be blowing. I said, sir, you're not supposed to blow that, keep the drain clean so that, it won't flood when it rains. Well, it won't bother it. The street people come along and clean it. What happens if it rains and the hurricane come before the street get along to clean it? And, people you got to take some responsibility for living that, I clean my drain. Every time I look at the news and see it's supposed to be raining or a heavy rain or thunderstorm, severe weather, I go out, get my rake the leaves away from that drain because it sits right in the corner of my house,
Yes, ma'am.
so that the whole street won't flood. But the one, 2 streets down, drain there and a drain there, pile up high, all the pine needles. Who's, you can't wait for streets. So we need to have a meeting with Parks and Rec, sanitation, whatever, with trash cans. They need to get on the people because we're in the season that you need to be picking up behind yourself. Litter blowing all over the street, boxes and stuff just down the street. Because when they don't close the lid on the trash can, we had high wind the other night.
Yes.
I had a half a top blow across somebody's yard over there. And that don't make sense. Because sometimes it will blow and probably someone will get hurt and people will try to sue the city. That's my pet peeve.
Yes, sir. Now, for the grass, are you talking about, individual homeowners that contract people to cut their grass? That are blowing it into the drain? Or are you
No.
speaking of the actual,
People that get paid with the truck said, oh, what is it?
Contract.
One of
Yeah,
the
it is. It'd be contractors.
True Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they do it.
Okay.
But the ones with the names on the truck, and they get a contract with your house.
with the city?
They charge, no,
No,
not with the
no.
city, with a person like, they
That's
That
what I'm talking about,
individual, yes.
individuals, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
And
It's
yeah.
not the city cutting the grass, it's the individual.
It's not the city, no.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that, yeah,
People that are paid to cut my grass. I say if I hire somebody to cut my grass,
yes, sir.
I do mine myself. But I have a bagger on my lawnmower. And I said, if you cut your grass, you need to have a bagger on your lawnmower, or either if you pay someone to cut it, tell them not to blow it off the lawn, on the sidewalk, into the street, on the curb.
Yes,
It
sir.
will compost,
That's all you ask.
isn't it not?
If you go around, I drive around sometimes, I see them just blowing it in the street. I have to stop my car because they're blowing it all on your car.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So that, if you're getting paid to remove the grass from people's yard, don't put it in the street.
Yes, sir.
Finish up the job.
That's my problem.
Yes, sir.
So you're getting paid to take it up.
Now, is that something that we can bring up with like a city ordinance type of deal? Because those are individual homeowners, and yes, the street sweepers do come through every now and then, but they don't come through enough. Like if all, 5, 6 of us are getting our grass cut to keep it going.
I
all the
know
time.
that's not code enforcement. I think that is more stormwater
Okay,
to where they will issue any kind of penalties and all of that for allowing those kinds of things to go into the stormwater drains. So
Okay.
that's more of the stormwater, issue.
Definitely, if you know, like, which company it is, give us a call, and then that way we can report it to Stormwater, because a lot of times they can send out somebody that might still, and catch them in the act, if we know early enough.
I didn't quite understand what you said, but you were looking at me.
what she said is,
If you see them doing it, give us a call as soon as possible, and let us know which company it is and the address, and we can give that information to Stormwater. And
I'm gonna write down the
sometimes
license
Stormwater,
tag sometime, turn them into the city.
yes, sir.
yes, definitely turn them in.
So they're getting paid to do it. I just wanted to know if I could do it.
And same thing with trash cans. We do have the ordinance that they're supposed to take their trash cans
But
back
you know,
after their trash is picked up.
Yes.
So if there's any addresses, just give us a call and let us know.
But it could be easily solved, because remember the time when we had to have the meeting with the taxi cab drivers? Oh, you weren't here then, okay, back up. But still, it could be solved with sanitation, letting them know, people, take your trash can in, we don't have to ride around and look for these things. Because everybody would know. And I'm not saying, the new people that comes in and, rent the houses and move into the neighborhood, they need to know what the rules are. So they may not know, so they need to put it in the water bill and let them know, take your trash can in. That's all you have to do. Or either put out a little flyer for the people that cutting the grass with the ones that are registered with the city, because I'm sure they are. They make $300 per contract, to let them know with Parks and Rec, if they sign up with someone, I don't know, to please not blow your grass near the drain. Just, don't blow it in the street. It'll be solved. I'm sure they'll do it.
Is there
Now the
some,
one told them.
I'm sorry.
Trash can thing, I'm pretty sure the trash can ordinance is in the calendar, the little city calendar that everyone gets. I know that I've seen that in writing,
I'm
because I
pretty
feel
sure that
guilty when
they
I
s-
don't do it.
When they sign up for trash service, all of that is in there.
Yeah,
We
it's
just,
definitely,
they probably need to give them a reminder, you know, when they see that they're not complying, then they can put a sticker on there and say, hey, this is a reminder to pull your trash. So,
yeah.
I think is it 24 hours?
yeah.
After pickup, they should be pulled back off the street. And I don't know how long it's always been that way, but
What?
at least where we are, I knew that it was 24 hours after they pick it up, it's supposed to be back in your
Yeah,
yard.
it is, it's still that for us, the old people know, but
And I
the
think
young
that
people
that's-
just leave them sitting out there from one weekend to the other.
You
So
might have put
every
something out
Thursday.
because
That don't
where I
make
am
sense.
right around here, I noticed that they might sit out there for a while. I've noticed that
For
people
a week.
are getting them up and moving them, so I wondered if you all did something in the water bill or
No,
something.
it hasn't changed.
But where I am, once they're gone Saturday morning, they're backed up, they're away, you don't see them sitting there anymore. So maybe you all might have done something that somebody did, you know, to remind people.
Yes, sir.
Is there some, penalty or something like that that comes if you have this, trash that's everywhere and the wind comes and the hurricanes come and it's still sitting out there and and it's blowing all over creation, including the neighborhood, and is there anything?
They do have the stickers to where they will go in and, you know, put the sticker on the trash, but
Well, I know
Who's
one
this-
thing that the
When you say-
sanitation department
Okay.
did in my neighborhood, on trash day, they actually have like a Ford truck that goes around to make sure that the trash is in the can, and if there's any trash on the outside of the can, they will pick it up and put it in the back of the truck, before the sanitation people make their rounds. So I don't know, I'm sure they do it in every neighborhood, they just wouldn't do it in my neighborhood, but, you know, they actually go out and make sure that that trash is contained in the can, or they will put it in the truck that they're
I've never
driving
seen
around.
that.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, they
I'm
do
right
it.
down
I
here.
live
They-
down here
they-
too, I've
well,
never seen
okay, all
that.
right.
Oh, man.
My
Are you
bad.
in the city or the county?
I'm in the city, yes, sir.
I've seen a truck come around after the trash people
Yeah.
and drive through the area, but haven't seen him do it before.
Yeah, they do it,
And it's a
it may be
city
a
truck.
scheduling thing, because they do it like
Yeah,
before
okay.
over where I'm at,
I've seen
and, you
that.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Maybe I saw it and didn't know that's what it was at the time, but I'll be looking for it.
Yeah, and, you know, and we just gotta, you know, keep in mind, like, this is how some of these issues are going to go, by us broadcasting and word of mouth. So many things are done by word of mouth and talking to your neighbors and people in your neighborhood, you know. You know, you don't have to befriend them, but you can say, hey, you know, welcome to the neighborhood, put your trash can, you know.
And take it back.
Like we used to,
Look,
you
that's
know,
a
like
shooting
people used
matter
to do
there.
in neighborhoods, they used to
Yeah.
know their neighbors and their kids, so word of mouth is a great opportunity to do that also.
I
So-
have one other quick question, and I'm not sure what it would fall under your all's purview, but an update on the status of our homeless shelter, since it's over there, you know, it's been a long time since they've been working on that. I know you all have worked with them for a long time. And where are they with it? Because people, when you've been out here as long as we have, you know, folks will just say,
Long
are they
time.
taking people? Is anybody staying over there? Because the last time we gave a donation from the sorority was ML King weekend. And at that time, because of COVID, they didn't even have any residents there. But they were coming and they were fixing food and so on, but, you know, they were still up in the air. So I'm wondering if we have some status on.
last year they opened the shelter.
Okay.
And we were afforded the opportunity to partner with them, and we gave them some of the
Could we
CARES
take a
Act
tour?
money. So they received the money. They did open up the shelter. They still have some kitchen renovations to do. They didn't have enough,
Oh, that's
you
right.
know, funds to do that. So we still may be able to help them do the kitchen part of that shelter because of the second round of coronavirus funds that we received. So the shelter is operational. They have moved in. So if anybody want to donate or if they need services, I encourage them to call Onslow Community Outreach, and they should be able to receive those services.
because whoever the contractor was did a beautiful job on it. I mean, you know,
Yes.
it is really, we gave some food.
Roger
And,
Construction.
because of the kitchen wasn't ready, we
Right.
had to make everything individual servings and so on. And she took us around to look at it. It is really phenomenal. It really is.
Yes, it is open.
I think they get food, the food is, they have an arrangement or a contractual arrangement with somebody with
They'll
food.
cook down at the old
The field
shelter,
cook, yeah.
Yes.
and then they
down here.
bring up the
And they bring it
individual
over.
food.
Okay.
So they're
So
not
that's
able
why
to-
we're trying to help them out in finishing up that kitchen so that they won't have that logistic back and forth.
That's all that.
They'll be able to serve the clients right there at the shelter and the kitchen, and we'll be able to use that, the COVID money to help prevent
Yeah.
and stop the spread of coronavirus.
And I think there are groups that would, because we certainly committed ourselves to do ongoing support for them, but it was sort of on hold until, probably it was because of the kitchen situation.
They do have a new executive director. His name is C.J. Crooks. And I
What's the
do
last name?
invite you all to go to the
Crooks.
shelter. Crooks.
Criminal, I'm not a cook.
KS. And he is acclimated with the community, and I do invite you all to go in as far as other Greek organizations, anybody that want to come in and help him, you know, keep the homeless shelter, going. Please go down there and introduce yourselves and welcome him into
Because
this
he was not
community.
hired yet when we went over. I think he may have been hired, but we didn't meet him. We met the shelter
He
director.
wasn't hired when the shelter opened, but soon after that, he was hired.
But it was very, very nice, so I just wondered if, thank you.
Yes.
Do we have any further questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the new park, well, not the new park, the park and its opening. So, back in Georgetown, the park,
Georgetown Park.
is that the park?
Art?
Yeah, I thought it was Georgetown. So, in lieu of COVID, what kinds of sanitation efforts are done on that equipment after people have been on it? I mean, is there something, or are parents gonna be doing wipes so their kids can get on it? I see kids playing down at Kerr Street Park too, on the equipment down there, and I wondered about, we're still in COVID, it ain't gone. So I wonder what kinds of, is the city doing anything as far as spraying, or is there spraying at night, or is there anything as far as?
When COVID first started, I know that Parks and Recreation, they did have some kind of sanitizing procedure that they were doing. I'm not sure if it's still going on, but we can get back with you and give you a status update, and we'll email you that information. But I think parents would consciously do that themselves, as far as sanitizing and making sure that the kids are safe. But I do remember having some kind of sanitizing process with parks, especially at the splash pad and all of that during the last summer, when coronavirus first
Can I
started.
ask the question? Paula, did I understand you correctly to say about sanitation with the trash cans?
No,
This is the park.
the parks
Playground.
equipment,
Oh,
the
the
playground
playground.
equipment.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
My mask off.
I did, you were talking about
Playground
playground.
equipment where people are touching behind each other, and, I mean, when we leave here, I expect that somebody's gonna come through here
That is
and
correct.
sanitize, and we've
Yeah.
all had shots.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean,
I have
We
That's
still
a-
sanitize this area, so.
about
I mean, they
the
do
box
it-
that they put out there.
they're doing it at schools, on Wednesdays or sanitation days. I mean, and you have students there.
We
So
spread out
why
too.
not,
Every
That's just
week.
one-
why are we not,
That's just one day a week. If you had kids over at that park from the morning to the evening, I can't fathom how they would manage that.
I think they should.
I just
I
can't see
mean,
how
I-
they could do it, you know.
What's that?
I
I
would
think,
think that
I
you
think
might-
we need to find a way
They do
to
it every
do that.
Wednesday.
I mean, we're teaching our kids to be safe, we're having them wear masks all day long at school. We're taking a day out, and I don't have kids, but y'all know mine are four-legged. We're taking all these precautions, and teaching our kids these precautions, and then we turn them loose on the playground and we don't go back and do
Free
anything.
for all.
That doesn't work.
Maybe putting a station up for your, I'm just thinking of the logistics of doing it.
What's
I
that?
can't, now there's somebody else who probably would be better on top of that than I am.
We'll get some guidance
figure out
from
how you
Parks and
manage that.
Recreation, and we can forward that information to you all.
I thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll get into our key dates.
I think we went over most of these, but
We went over most of these during Ms. Pamela's brief.
here's our meeting.
And then you throw up our next meetings.
Committee.
June the 28th.
Want to see 'em? Okay. Do we have any,
Is that a typo?
Subcommittee.
you talking about all the way up?
Community
Probably, I
development.
think it's,
Yes, ma'am, it's just the old title.
it's the old title up on the top of the second page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
There are no save rounds or anything? Okay.
Lakewood Home Bus Course, 8 to 5.
I have one quick,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I have not had the pleasure of meeting you because I missed the last meeting and I've been doing this virtually. Are you now a member of this group or,
I think I am. I don't think that it was actually like officially brought up maybe it was brought up at the last city council meeting. I thought it was supposed to be the one before last, but I didn't see it. And I only got like 30 minutes into the last one. But yes, for all intents and purposes, I believe I am an official member.
Welcome.
Thank you.
One question from Tracy. Home buyers course, is the fee still, what's the fee for that?
The fee is currently $20. Come July 1st, it's going to increase to $25.
And that includes lunch still?
That includes the lunch.
I wanted to tell them, because they've been asking.
after July, you get 25?
July will be
Year, okay.
25.
We better hope we get them in June
Because
then.
of historically, we've had low attendance during the summertime. We're going to have our May class, and then we won't have another class until September.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'd like to bring this meeting and call it to adjourn this meeting.
Motion that we close the meeting.
Second the motion.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.